Hey folks, Matt from Art of the Image. Buffalo, New York, went to the Flash Bus tour on Sunday, this past Sunday, and it was freaking awesome. Joe McNally, David Hobby, the Strobist. It was a great day. Lots to learn, lots to make you think, lots of really cool, interesting stuff. And Yeah, just an overall great day. If you get a chance to catch a tour before it's over, highly recommend you go and take it in. If you're interested in flash lighting and lighting, these two are two of the best people you could probably learn from. Really, really great show. I was sitting thinking about it, what I wanted to tell you guys about from the tour. And For me, one of the biggest things of the tour was just to meet both of the guys. Um, Joe McNally has been my hero, my photographic hero for years. The man is a legend in his own time. He's shot for every major magazine out there: National Geographic, Time, The New Yorker, Sports Illustrated. You name it, he's been in there. Or if he hasn't, the magazine's just not good enough to have featured him. Anyways, amazing shooter. I There was a bit of a lull just before Hobby was getting on stage. I said to my buddy, I gotta go over. McNally was at the back, kind of walking around, and I said, I gotta go say hi to him. And I'm a talkative guy. Normally, great conversation starter, and I pretty much blanked. I was like, oh great, I got a second here. He's by himself. I can have a conversation with him, and all I managed to say was, hi, I'm Matt from Woodstock, Ontario, and I just had to say hi. So, anyways, point being, I got to meet him. Really friendly guy. Shook my hand, and for me, huge. I got to meet one of my heroes. So really awesome. Got to meet Hobby too. Anyways, 11 things I took away from the Flash Bus tour that I wanted to relate to you. I sat down, started thinking about things. First of all, David Hobby, the Strobist, believe it or not, will actually use ITTL or TTL once in a while. He's not always manual. Conversely, number two, Joe McNally will use manual once in a while. So these two guys kind of play off each other. That one's fully manual, one's TTL. But basically, they are basically, Hobby's big on manual, McNally's big on TTL, flash. But when the situation demands, they will both go either way back to the other if they need it. Hobby will use a little bit of TTL once in a while. McNally will go back down to manual or use manual in conjunction from programming his remotes. So two interesting things there. Another big thing I found that just some of the modifiers. Beauty dish. I think I'm ready to incorporate a beauty dish into some of my stuff now. I've held off doing it. Haven't really seen why I would want to. Some of the live demonstrations that were done there with the beauty dish, pretty cool. Likewise with a ring flash. I may want to get a ring flash too. David Hobby really likes the Orbis ring flash, so that may be one I look at. We'll see. So there's 4 things I took away from it. And the 5th thing I got out of it, one of the 5th things I wrote down was Joe is even funnier in person. If you read his blog, he's a very likable person, very personable writer. You can see he pokes fun at himself all the time. I mean, he billed himself as Numbnuts McNally for the tour, so obviously he's got a sense of humor. But even more so in person. Just a really great guy to listen to talk to, and really great person. 6th thing I had was you can get blogger hoodies. David had a brown blogger hoodie on, so a brown hoodie sweatshirt with the big B blogger symbol on it. Says blogger. Really cool. I'm going to order one. Didn't even know you could get those. Another thing I found, and this is learned from the Strobist, Chinese lanterns are not just for decoration. Really cool lighting mod, and maybe I'll get into that with you in another video. But I really liked some of the work David did with a Chinese lantern. You can use the Chinese paper ones, the Chinese silk ones, but a really cool lighting mod. And the another thing, I think we're around number 8 here. Joe likes to shoot in Aperture Priority. Kind of surprised me a little bit. I mean, most professionals stick in manual most of the time. But Aperture Priority is it's not full program mode. It's kind of letting the camera do some of the work for you. Now the difference here is that somebody like Joe knows how to shoot an aperture priority and then work the camera if it's making decisions he doesn't quite like, so he's using it to his advantage. But I found that pretty interesting that Joe likes to shoot in aperture priority mode. Another thing I had, another big thing from David's presentation was AFKA, and this was a acronym he had for how to do your lighting, 4-stage acronym, and I wrote it down because it really makes a lot of sense, kind of stuff you know from doing lighting and whatnot, but this kind of puts it as, you know, the pattern that should be playing in your head while you're setting up your lighting. And AFKA is ambient, fill, key, accent, and that's the way you should build up the layers of your lighting. That's what he was getting into, how lighting, you build it up into layers. It's just like you're layering a photo, or layering, like layers in Photoshop almost. You're adding your lighting in layers. Light is additive. He was stressing that, and you just build it up and add each piece to it. So you start with your ambient, get your exposure right for your ambient, where you want your ambient to be. You look at your fill next, and you play with that, set your lighting for that, and see where you want it to be. And then key lights. That's lighting on your subject. That's your main lighting for your subject, and play with that, where you want that to be. And then your accent lights. You don't even have to use those, but they do make a difference, and you can play with those. So there you go. It's AFKA, ambient, fill, key, accent. And again, the big point too was that light is additive. You keep adding to it, keep building it up. And one of the biggest things I've kind of touched on a little bit, what I took away from the whole thing is, I mean, you got two big personalities here. I mean, Joe McNally, huge personality as far as, you know, big in the photography world, big hero of mine. And David Hobby, I mean, big name in the photography world, up and coming, not even up and coming, he's there, but he's come on and into the scene really quick. You know, he's made quite a name for himself. Both these people, very approachable, very personable, just all-around great people. I was super impressed. It's so nice to see people of, you know, famous people with some stature to them who are such decent people, approachable, you know, both shake your hands, say hi. I mean, when we were waiting in line to go into the presentation, David went through the lineup, walked down the whole line, shook hands with everybody, and talked to each person in line, wanting to know who they were and where they're from, and it was just, how cool is that? I mean, you go to things, how many people that you're at something where somebody famous is on stage or whatever is going to come out and do that ahead of time and talk to everybody that's there to see them. Just really cool. So there you go, folks. I think that was 11. That's what I counted out earlier, but give or take. Things that I took away from the Flash Bus Tour. Joe McNally, David Hobby, fantastic day. Again, I was at the Buffalo one in New York. Awesome presentation. Still lots of things percolating through my head, figuring some stuff out that I want to do, some things I want to use in my business. And if you get a chance to see them, by all means, check it out. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon with some new videos, some new articles. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography. Thanks a lot.